I'm Brand. I feel good, and I love Hallmark fall movies.
I'm Brian. I feel good, and I like Hallmark fall movies.
I'm Dan, and I feel great, and I despise fall movies, and this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Happy Tuesday. It is great to be here.
It's fall, y'all.
It is
sure
fall.
is. Has
It's
been for
fall.
a while, yeah.
It's been fall for a while.
Yeah, welcome
And
to
I
fall,
don't-
Dan.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm
Join us.
happy that you have finally come around on it being fall.
became fall, and down here in Greenville, South Carolina, it was 95.
Oh,
it felt like
so
95
hot.
degrees on the autumnal equinox day. It was
Autumnal.
crazy.
Yeah,
brutal.
Yeah, I'm not about that life.
No, it was
so
real
just,
hot.
You know, stay indoors.
Yeah.
And turn the air down, and then you can trick yourself.
You can trick yourself.
And that's the key. The key is to
It's
live
gonna
in.
get here next weekend.
Yeah.
Next weekend I'll get here.
It'll stick around.
Before
Maybe.
maybe, who knows? A couple of false falls.
Guys, how was your weekend? I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
been a while.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
man.
so
I don't
long.
know why.
Well, that whole schedule thing happened last
Yeah,
Thursday.
that just was
Oh,
like
that threw everything off.
Yeah.
it was crazy.
yeah, what a
Crazy.
wild day.
That was
Always
wild.
crazy around here.
It is crazy.
Yeah,
it was
but really excited. We still got
We
the
got 'em
paper,
right
got
here.
and we're gonna dive into those in the next couple of weeks with our preview shows.
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot of fun. Brian, how was your weekend, buddy?
Good,
Did you do
man.
anything fun?
No, nothing fun.
Nothing,
I
huh?
was a lot of yard work. I feel like repeating myself every weekend out in the yard.
What are you doing?
What
What
is
are you
going
doing
on?
out there?
Just weed whacking. I don't have the right grass. We know this.
You don't have the
So
right
it
grass.
doesn't grow. Or
Doesn't
it
grow.
grows ridiculously. It makes a mess.
And
do you like doing it?
no, well, I'm over it now.
but how
Now
much
I'm over
are
it.
you somebody that likes?
Why don't you pay somebody
yeah,
to do it?
That's
Yeah,
the-
that's
there
a
it
good
is.
question. Mostly because my neighbor next door doesn't do that, and he's got a great lawn, and I just feel like I'm copping out.
So you're trying to
so-
keep up with the Joneses.
You
in
don't-
an effort.
I'm just trying
don't
not
want-
to fall way behind.
do you
the
care?
Joneses.
Do you care about Jones?
I like the Joneses.
Yeah, you
You
like
like
the
them.
Joneses.
Yeah, I like the Joneses.
So you just really care what the Joneses
Dude,
think?
there was a
No, it's just like I don't know. I will eventually get somebody to do
Will
it.
you?
I will.
But
There'll
be-
come a point. But
be
also,
honest.
the kids are getting older, and there is a
That's
point where
true.
you do
That's
the
what you're
switch
doing.
over,
Yeah.
trying to hold out a
Yeah.
little bit.
They
I'll have
gotta
a
learn-
10-year-old soon.
They got to
But
learn
be
hard to work.
honest.
Put 'em behind the mower.
Do you? How many hours are we talking about? Or do you really hate it every like? Or do you secretly like
No, I don't
enjoy the
secretly
time?
enjoy the time.
Okay.
No, there are days where I do enjoy being out there. It's nice. When it's 95, I don't.
Yeah, oh,
when
no,
we're doing it in
no,
this
no,
heat,
no, no,
And
no.
the leaves are starting to fall, and I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this anymore. I should
Yeah.
be done cutting the
Yeah.
grass. So no, I don't. There is a period of time where I do enjoy it.
You should be
I'm
hiring
beyond it.
someone to do this.
Yeah.
That's where you. That's
And
what.
This weekend, I was like, if my neighbor across the street, if that guy shows up today, I'm going over there and he's finishing this for me.
Are you raking? Are you mowing? Are
Not
you
raking
edging?
yet,
What are you
but
doing?
we'll be raking soon. Just mowing, edging, cleaning up the weed whacking around the rocks and the stones.
We whacking around the rocks.
I saw him live, actually.
Yeah, it was so good. Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, they do a good job.
Man.
Well, I'm happy that. I mean, I guess I'm
Thanks,
happy.
man.
I'm
for
thrilled for you.
Dan, how was your weekend?
Great.
Did you do anything fun?
It was great. Took my kids to see Transformers 1.
How
you
was
did?
it?
That sounds fun.
I loved it. And
Okay.
I think the Transformers movies by and large are fine. That was a little bit before my time. I loved it. It's my
Okay.
favorite Transformers movie I've ever seen.
Wow.
But also my kids, and maybe it's because I was with them, they left the theater like on a rocket ship. Like
Yeah.
they were like, that's the best movie I've ever seen. That was amazing. Can we get an Optimus Prime toy? They were like full.
and they did.
And they did.
Oh, they
That's
did?
exactly right. Yeah.
Word has crossed the fence that
right.
they did indeed.
They got-
Are they
They did
renegotiating
indeed.
Halloween costumes?
No,
Oh,
the
that's
Halloween
interesting.
costumes are done.
Okay.
But when my kids get excited about a movie and they beg for a toy, and my one kid goes, "We have to go home and open my pig bank so I can count the amount of
you
money to
just buy
see
it
if I
for
can."
'em.
And I just was like,
Yeah.
"Buddy, don't worry about it," because I just was
Got
so
you.
excited to be in on it with them. So
Yep.
yeah, we they loved it, and so we basically had some sort of Transformers playing all weekend long, but.
Wow.
Like with the toys, and then watched a bunch of football and baseball. And
Football.
You know.
Football. Well, I love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love you guys.
What about you, Brand?
Yeah, what'd you do?
Had a great
What'd you
weekend.
get into?
Went up to, and so I went. It was my
He
wife's
did
birthday.
yard work.
It
all
was my
weekend.
no. I didn't do.
Sounds like a good one.
When would I ever?
Yeah, never.
I have. It was my wife's birthday, and so we went up to the mountains with a couple of friends and split a cabin. It was a lot of fun. Originally, there was original thought that we would go camping for a night, and boy, when I saw how hot it was, I'm glad we didn't
Oh,
do
that'd
that.
have been miserable.
Because when you're planning these things like a month out, you're like, it could be.
yeah, it's gonna be brisk and fun.
And we went camping one night last year, and it was fun. The boys really liked it, so I was like, let's do it again this year. But I'm
tradition.
glad we did
It's
not
like
do it this
every
year. Can you
year-
imagine? Like, it's been
Oh,
so nice, and then
no.
over the weekend it got so bad. I just would have canceled.
Every
What a
year,
100%.
I wait till very late to take my family up to North Carolina to do the normal Apple thing, whether it's
Yeah.
Cedar Mountain or Skytop or Granddad's, wherever you go.
Yeah.
And every year, there's a week in September where it gets cold, and I'm
We
like,
did it. We
and I'm
did.
like, should we go early? Should we go now? And then something like this happens, and I just think
Heat
of the
wave.
people at Jeter Mountain.
We went.
this
We
week-
went
last
2
weekend?
weekends ago, and it was nice.
Oh.
It
Yeah.
was great. It was
Yeah.
the best Apple experience I've had there.
Yeah.
Because I usually also wait until later.
Yeah, I just thinking about last weekend is like why I don't ever go till mid-October.
I also saw Lion King at the Peace Center, and it was
Oh, yeah?
amazing.
Have you never seen it before?
I'd never seen it.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Teared up a couple times.
Did you
Teared
take
up a couple
your
times.
kids or just
No,
you? Or
no.
just
Yeah,
you and
I
Caitlin?
did. I wanted to see it,
Check
and
it
see
out.
how it go because it comes here every couple of years. So like
My
I
kids
figured.
we saw it in London,
Yeah.
in the West End,
Yeah.
and my kids lost their ever loving minds.
Yeah.
And they've been begging to go back.
I
I'm
think
like,
the next time it comes here, they'll be down. To
oh
see
yeah,
it,
because
but,
Gab's
yeah.
probably a little bit young.
Yeah.
I was thinking about checking that out, and I forgot. Then I forgot to follow up.
It's
on
still
it.
here
And
for
I know,
another
I-
week
I
if you
think it's
wanna-
all sold out.
Is it?
In
think
fact, the
so.
song in that now we're just on a full.
Sure.
We're not even, are
Greenville.
we recording? What?
Yeah, we are.
He lives in you.
Amazing. And it makes me tear up every time I hear
How
that
that is not in either of
It's
the
in,
movies.
It's in Lion King 2, I believe.
In Lion King 2.
I believe.
There's
And
a
they've
Lion King.
Yeah. And then they pulled it into now it's just a look.
Yeah, okay,
It's-
so
I think it
I'm that
for my
weird guy
money.
that has only seen the ones that have gone to the movie theater. Lion King 2 went straight to video. What in the
I might be getting my
world?
information wrong. It is in something. It wasn't created. Best to my
Dude,
understanding, wasn't created. Exactly
He lives
for it.
in you. That song, which I'm seeing now on producer Aaron's monitor,
Lion King 2.
is from the Lion King 2 soundtrack.
An amazing song.
I'm appalled that that
Okay.
was on a direct-to-video release. One
Lion King
and
2
two,
didn't make it to theaters.
No,
She
I'm
has.
probably
the
never
VHS.
going to get around to it.
Oh.
Two, but
I-
three. That song is the best. It's unbelievable.
My hot take, but now you're kind of stealing it from me. It's the best Lion King song. And
Easily.
it's crazy because the Lion King music is full of bops, but it's the best
yeah,
song.
Elton John, Tim Rice, "Kick It Up the River."
But Hans-
that song's better than all of them.
I didn't know that song existed either until I saw Hans Zimmer live a few years ago, and he's like responsible for the music behind some of Lion King stuff.
Yeah.
and he's responsible for that
Oh,
song,
great.
at least the music for it. And I was like, "What is this song?"
Wow.
My first time listening to it was seeing it in London
Yeah.
on the West End, and
way to
I
do it.
am bawling. And my
Yeah.
kids are like, "What is wrong with it?" It's so good. It's so good, and I thought it was just for the musical. There you go. That's what that's.
It's so good.
There you go. It's for a direct to VHS Lion King sequel. Of course. Why wouldn't I think of that?
I hope that everybody had a wonderful weekend. Is what we're trying to get to.
yeah.
Falling
That
together
Greenville.
is what we're talking about today. You ready to dive in?
Oh yeah.
Anything else
Oh,
we
yeah.
want to say?
Anything else?
I
Any
think
more
we got
yard
the
work
weekends
stuff?
covered.
No? Great.
I
All
think we
set.
did
Lion King
Apples,
check.
football.
Okay.
September 21st, 2024, we're a little something like this. Natalie is the type of person who just really loves her neighbors. You know that type of person that really loves their neighbors?
Won't you be
My neighbor.
my neighbor?
And it's tough for her to leave her neighbors in Miami and move to Pittsburgh, but she is going to do that. She gets there and immediately bumps into and annoys the building super, Mark. She then meets HOA president, who she accidentally offends. She has 6 weeks until her job starts. And she is committed to meeting as many neighbors as possible and building the same type of community that she had at her old place. But they all kind of just hate each other. They're not a close-knit building. She's walking around and she ends up signing up to volunteer at the Walk to End Alzheimer's fundraiser, and she sees Mark walk by and basically ignore the pitch to volunteer, and she's not having that. Natalie isn't having it. She walks up and she tries to convince him to listen, and he's just like, "It's not my thing. I don't want to do it." Natalie finds the greatest diner of all time, and I think we would all agree. If Panda was here, he'd be freaking out.
Of course.
He'd have the shirt on by now, whatever the name of this diner is.
Giddy Up Diner? Gillicuddy?
I don't know the name of it.
Gillicuddy's, yeah. And meets Drea, the owner, and immediately they hit it off. Inspired by Drea's pie, and who isn't, she decides to throw a chili and pie party for the building, try to get everybody to show up, meet the neighbors, etc., but nobody shows up. That is, except for Mark. He does show up, not for the party, but to fix a leak under her sink that she didn't know existed. He explains that the building isn't like her last building, so she should just stop trying. She decides to not stop trying. She's gonna build back better this building, and if it kills her, so be it. At least she died trying. She starts by sitting outside offering free muffins. It doesn't work. She decides that people would be happier if the lobby was decorated for fall. So Mark is like, you know what? You want to decorate? Go for it. He takes her down there and shows where all the decorations are being stored. Mark and Natalie, though, they begin to hang out more because he's like, you know what? You're always like going and thinking about other people. You need to have some me time. So they go leaf peeping together, riding bikes and whatnot. After nobody in the building showed up to go with her, he's like, you know what, I'm going to go with you and the whole thing. And dadgummit, if they don't start enjoying each other's company, they're having a good time with each other. She starts dancing. Nope. She starts watching the tenants. Why did I say dancing?
She starts dancing. Sometimes it just rhythm takes over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was weird. And figuring out that like what they're into to try to appeal to them. Instead of just doing things like muffins. And Mark even agrees to volunteer for the Alzheimer's walk. She comes to his dad's house for I wrote cookie, but it's a cookout. And
starts dancing, goes over for a cookie.
They play something that resembles football. And we find out that Mark feels guilty about his dad losing his job as a super at that same building back in the day. He feels like it was his fault, which is part of the reason why he is so insistent on keeping things professional with the other tenants at the complex. But Natalie is rubbed off on Mark, and he commits to making everybody at the complex as happy as possible. And hopefully they're happy, and they'll sign up for the Alzheimer's walk, and they'll be one big happy family. And dadgummit, if it doesn't work. It works. Mark is like, man, this is crazy. Helping people is awesome. Here's a bench. He built a bench. She has to leave this party. They had a whole get together. They were having a wonderful time. It felt like a family, but she has to leave to go and turn some stuff in for the Alzheimer's walk. And bumps into the leader, Linda. Natalie discovers that Linda has early onset Alzheimer's, which is super sad for her, but she tells her that she's going to be here every step of the way to help her. When she gets back to the party, though, the party's absolutely collapsed, and everybody is back to being mad at each other, which makes her really sad. It's the day 4 of the walk to end Alzheimer's, and Natalie is disappointed when it seems like no one from her building comes. But when Mark realizes that he's being a doofus, he shows up and asks if he can be her walking buddy.
Can I dance?
Can I dance too? Asks if he could be her walking buddy, and the rest of the building also shows up. They start walking. They're having a good time, and they kiss, and they kiss some more. And that, my friends, was Falling Together. We did it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, and we'll break this movie down the only way we know how, dadgummit. You're on Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
I think I said dadgummit 3 times in the first segment.
Man,
New record,
that's a
man.
lot of dadgummits.
Congrats.
It's too many dadgummit. Dadgummit.
Dadgummit.
Oh, man, it's tough. We're talking Falling Together here on Deck the Hallmark today. Ashley Williams, Paul Campbell, our thoughts on it. Let's dive into it. We're going to start with a hot take. We're going to share exactly how we felt about this movie. We're not going to hold back. I'm going to start with my buddy Brian. Brian, what'd you think about Falling Together?
Yeah, I think pretty good overall. Good
pretty
stuff.
pretty good.
I think they did a good job. This is a tough subject, tough for a lot of people to watch and handle. And I feel like they, in someone like Ashley's hands, like really trust her with something like this. Like
more than Rachel Lee Cook.
Well, that's Brand's life. We're
careful.
talking.
Yeah. Tread carefully.
But I feel like Ashley is just working towards and has probably earned like a lifetime achievement award of some sort at the already with the contributions to movies and just the type of
Contribution to
person.
movies.
So, yeah, the
I
types
thought you were
of
going to say to
movies-
charity, but
Yeah.
you said to movies.
No, to the
She's
way
earned a
that she
lifetime
does-
achievement award with her
with
contributions to movies.
with her movies, which she enjoys doing, she's like risen women
Ashley,
up.
you could do better on a charity standpoint, from a charity standpoint, but your
yeah,
movies.
if we're doing like an annual review, the charity could use a
nailed
little
it.
bit. No, phenomenal. She's just doing phenomenal
Yeah,
work, like
of course
all
she
around.
is. Yeah.
And so Dadgummit is right. I feel like the characters in this were really good. Like I enjoyed all the different types of characters. They felt very different. They felt like individuals and unique. Lots of support. The coolest thing about this, I think, was the support from just the acting community and like the dance to save the dance.
in Nashville, they did a dance. Yes.
Well, no, they're doing one in L.A. coming up, and Andrew's on the board. His wife
Nikki
Cass,
DeLoach is
Nikki,
big with
the
it,
dance
yes.
to end Alzheimer's. And over the weekend, a lot of people were doing lives. Like Andrew and Cass did a live with Tyler and Kim Susted to raise money for the event. Just like Ben Ayers getting in on it, discounting his camp. Like a lot of people involved in like supporting this idea. And so very cool to see all that. And so overall, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really well done. And it was cool to see everybody kind of rally around. Plus all the dancing Brand mentioned and the cookies.
Yeah, the dancing was really when it before she started dancing, I was like, I don't know. But then,
Yeah.
oh.
Though I do have to say, Natalie in this is my nightmare of a neighbor.
Oh,
Like,
God, yeah.
I
There's plenty to get to there.
Chuck through and through. I am Chuck through and through. But you need people like Natalie in this world, and so I'm glad
Yeah.
carry things and the burdens and to initiate. So I know you need that. Just I don't do well in that scenario. All right, so pretty good.
First of all, let's get the fall of it all out of the way.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week. We were like, if you just did fall like you did Christmas, it would make everything
right.
better. And they did it.
They did
this
that.
episode.
This episode.
I'm sorry, this movie.
We're doing it this episode.
The set decor was primo. It was wonderful. And I don't really know where this like town is that they film. This is like, we've seen this town a few times. It's definitely like a set, and it's so good. It feels so good. It's great. I love it. Give me more of wherever they shot this movie. But as far as the movie goes, I freaking love this movie. I love the community of it all. This whole like, hey, I just want this building to feel like a community was wonderful, and I thought that it really works. Specifically, it worked because it's Ashley Williams, and I absolutely believed it. I believed that if Ashley Williams lived in an apartment complex like this would be her. It just worked. And who wouldn't want to be friends? I'd be like, yes, I will come to your chili cook-off. And I don't even like chili. You're just so fun. And so it worked. And then Paul worked really well in this movie. I thought that the two of them worked really well as like the kind of hanging out together and all that good stuff, talking. And I actually felt like lots of times you hear like why is this person so grumpy? Why are they the way that they are? And then you find out and you're like, all right. I actually felt like the reasoning for Mark being the way that he is as this super made a lot of sense. Like the backstory actually worked for me. And so it just, I don't know, it all hit. And so the movie, a wonderful message, obviously for a wonderful cause. And I just thought that this movie worked across the board. One of my favorites of the year at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
Gosh.
I just thought it worked. Dano?
So let's get this out of the way. ALZ.org is where you can go donate. We've donated here. My grandmother passed away from complications regarding dementia and Alzheimer's. It is something that's near and dear to all of our hearts. And for them to turn their passion into a movie is great. It's amazing. Ashley, no one can ever accuse Ashley of not using her voice. Ashley's my hero in that regard. I want to be someone that uses my voice and my platform to make a difference and make a change. And Ashley has done that consistently. The Make Her Mark program through Hallmark. She's directing films. She's a great director. She's teaching others. She's starting like multi-million-dollar organizations that allow other women a chance to direct that they weren't afforded before. Alzheimer's, this is passionate. She doesn't just give, she doesn't just serve. Her and Nikki get out there, they post about it, they hold fundraisers for it. It's contagious. That is awesome. And now she's made a movie about it. That, while I'm going to disagree with some stuff here after I finish with this preface, that, to Brian's point, works. It's not a movie where they just kind of tack on Alzheimer's on the end of it. I think they do their due diligence to make this work. I do think the synopsis of this movie being about a chili party was a mistake. Whoever did that a few months ago
On the
probably
IMDb's.
should at least have a talking to. Having said all that, this movie is not, in my opinion, very good. I think first and foremost, I don't buy Paul Campbell and Ashley Williams with any romantic chemistry. I didn't buy them with romantic chemistry in Holiday Hearts. I believe that's what that movie is called. I certainly did not buy them with any romantic chemistry here. They're both wonderful actors. I think the problem is that Ashley's best when she's so quirky and funny and fly by the seat of her pants, and Paul Campbell's best when he is either doing his Jim Carrey thing like the second Mystery Lane, or when he's being super smarmy, wisecracky. He's amazing doing that. And I think what happens is they kind of round each other's edges a little bit in this movie, and neither gets to really do the thing that I think is their wheelhouse. And I also think that the stakes couldn't be lower, aside from Alzheimer's being very high stakes. I think the stakes of the actual film are non-existent. It does suffer because it's a message movie, and I didn't to the extent that I care about Alzheimer's, did not care about whether or not these people volunteer or not. I thought that was ridiculous. And then lastly, there's a bit of forced community in this movie that I hated. I think the best families are found families, and the best communities are found communities. And you do need people that initiate stuff, but you also need to know that some people want to go home and not talk to anybody. And that is something that I think gets tossed by the wayside here. Is there are people that do community all day long and also don't want to in their apartment complex, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone in this building sucks. They're the worst of the worst people. I couldn't live beside most of them. We'll get into that in the Wait What's for sure. But conversely, there are some really good people who do really good things, and they want to go home and do nothing. And that's also fine. So I had a ton of issues with the movie. I love what Ashley's doing. I love the message of the movie. The movie for me did not work virtually at all. And I will say, if you were in the right headspace for it, I could see how it would be middle of the pack. Hearing is one of your favorites of the year. Big surprise to me.
It's easy.
Big surprise to me.
Easy.
I'm thinking of our top 8.
I don't even agree that I thought that they were there, but I don't disagree that romantically I didn't think that they necessarily worked, but I felt like the type of characters that they were playing are two of my favorite.
I thought characters were written.
Yes.
Ashley would do exactly what her character was doing. Paul would do exactly what his characters were doing. I don't have any problem with that. Together, I don't think they worked, and I thought the stakes couldn't have been lower. And then also,
if they weren't romantic, if they were just friends, would you be fine?
I think that would have helped.
Okay,
it would have gone a long way.
Because I think that
it would have gone a long way.
I thought the great friends.
And then the fact that the plot of this movie really is about getting all of these people to sign up for one event on a Saturday is crazy. It's just crazy. There's so many ways we can end Alzheimer's without it being that. I understand you have to have that for it to be a movie. And so I'm trying to give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt there. But for me, this movie is barely hanging on from a plot standpoint and from a chemistry standpoint. And that's unfortunate. I know. I'm sorry, everybody. But we did wear purple shirts, and we did give to alz.org. And you can go and do that right now. And you should. So there's that.
Or join a walk.
Or join a
walk.
You
Or
know,
a dance. However you can give with your time, efforts, your resources. Go. Please do it.
It's time for All the Feels. This is where we talk about the feels. Brian?
Yeah. I thought the explanation of the colors meanings
Really good.
was really
So good.
good.
Yeah.
And the pictures on the wall, and I know some of those pictures were people from real life.
Of course.
And really, really, really well done.
Some of the pictures are people from real
Yeah,
life.
like one of
Some
the
of them were
pictures.
AI
some of them were
generated.
No.
No, all
It's
well,
like-
maybe.
I know what
I
you
think
mean.
Nick
I know
is-
what you mean.
Yeah, there's
I know what you
Andrew's
mean.
mom.
That's right.
So
Most of them are
very
real.
cool.
A few AI generated, and
Couple
you can
AI
try to pick them
yeah,
out.
Yeah, and
Pick
that's
'em
the
out.
challenge of this movie is
Yeah.
trying to decipher. AI is
Yeah.
really good.
AI is really
gotten
good these
so
days.
good. Another one was, I got to get some pie real soon. This is 2
This is
weeks in a
messed
row.
up, man. This is too much.
It's a lot of pie options.
Oh.
Did you do the thing? Did you
man.
bring one today?
Not today. Not today. Today.
What do, like
Maybe
keep
can
the
you
counter-
stay
hired you,
indoors
I just
one
don't even
Saturday?
know.
I'm not
Stop
baking
with
when it's
your
90
yard.
degrees, man. It's
Stop with your
too
yard.
hot to bake.
Turn the air down. Whatever.
Yeah,
however.
which way do you say?
I say turn it down.
Yeah, you
but-
gotta
I
turn
say
it down.
turn it up.
Okay.
Anyway,
that's-
I don't know, man. So I need to find some good pie spots here in Greenville and start eating some pie. The pie.
the pie?
Hey, on top of everything Dan said
Yes.
about supporting research for
course,
Alzheimer's
yes.
and doing your part. The pie.
Yes.
Man, the diner in this movie was amazing. Like you walk in and you're like, well, it's fall. The fall. Holy
Yeah, man.
smokes! It just. This is what we were talking about.
That
This-
gummit.
and it. Everything that we said last week, it did,
Came true.
and it worked.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly how we said
Planned
that
it,
it would.
yeah, absolutely.
So more of that, and I think maybe I'll be disappointed if we go next week and it's like
Yeah.
less
Take a
fall.
step
Like,
back.
That feels like it
We are
shouldn't
going to
be.
the Wild West, right? Are we going out
Oh,
west?
we're going to Real West.
Yeah.
Might-
we are.
might lose
When
a
I
little
roll
fall.
into the
Boy.
There's
real
a chance.
West.
There's a chance we go backwards. But if this is the fall, and you know what? Ashley last year, she was in the fall movie of the year too. Maybe this is like maybe
thing?
fall is Ashley upon on top of everything else that she's doing, she's carrying the mantle of fall. And so amazing fall vibes, and I couldn't really ask for more in that regard.
gonna make
I
it?
was gonna try to get through it, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
I
Edit
couldn't
that
really
out.
ask for any more in that regard. So thank you, Hallmark. Dan.
I'm going to go with a shout out to the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the fall.
Pittsburgh.
I have visited Pittsburgh in the fall. A lovely city. So much to do, so much to see.
Do you take the back streets when you're around there?
What's wrong with it?
I'm not
I
saying
wouldn't.
there's anything wrong
Nothing's wrong with it. And then weirdly enough, Pittsburgh's amazing. The people are just so incredibly Pittsburgh. And I mean that in the kindest way. They are just hardworking, blue collar folks, and they're proud of their local product, and it's amazing. And then I also had the best soup dumplings I've ever had in my life at a place called Everyday Noodles. Shout out Everyday Noodles. I've had soup dumplings or some sort of homemade dumpling. LA, Seattle, up and down the West Coast, East Coast, Atlanta, everywhere, middle of the country. They're the best I've ever had. They would be held up against anyone that I've ever had in Chinatown, anyone I've ever had anywhere. Everyday Noodles in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You should check out their soup dumplings. There you go. It's
There you
free just
go.
for me.
Go Pitt.
The
We're gonna
Panthers.
take a
Sure.
We're gonna
And the
take a-
Steelers.
Yeah, Steel
Both
Town.
and.
Yellow Towel Boys. What's
That's
it
right.
called?
Terrible
Terrible
Towels.
Towels.
That's right. Yeah. And PNC Park, where the Pirates play, is like the best ballpark. Oh my gosh.
Pirates is a great thing.
Just pirates in general. How they,
Pirates
how
is
they
a great
steal.
thing. Deck the Hallmark.
Pirating or
I gave it some thought.
Yeah.
What I said before the break about Pirates.
Yeah.
Being a great thing.
Pirates is a great thing.
Yeah, what I meant was like
The
it's
movie
a gre-
franchise?
No,
It's a great mascot.
It's a great mascot.
Yeah.
Okay, all
It's Pirates is a great thing, and I
is.
think you said it. Yeah.
make them.
Then she starts dancing.
And she
and-
starts
eating
dancing.
cookies.
You better look out. It's time for the Wait What. It's where we talk about when this movie made us go Wait What. I'll start with you, Brian.
Yeah, this got me really funny. A handyman
Got him real funny.
running up to like a service box when you're moving into a building is just not a good sign.
No,
for the building.
no,
just
real bad
what
sign.
a way.
One that has trees on it.
Yes, yes.
Not around it. It's like they got trees brought in to do the
on
fall
top of,
thing.
yeah, make sure those
They
roots
put
get
the
in.
trees
in the
on the
wires.
fall the box.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah,
good.
You got to remove your decorations to
Yeah,
get to the access.
yeah.
This was almost a feels for me, but it's sort of also it's sitting on the fence here, and it was the speed with which she unpacked and decorated. For
Oh my
fall.
God.
her apartment immediately like
Unbelievable.
just
great.
Fall threw up in that apartment.
Shout out.
So great.
But also, wait, what? Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. Continuity thing, love these. At the diner, Ashley had like her arm in a sleeve at one point, just one hand through a sleeve, like a long sleeve, and then a couple shots she didn't. And so sometimes it was there, sometimes it wasn't. It was very random. I don't know if that was like an inside joke or something, but that was just a funny little, I love catching those things. And then the flyer at the before the meet and greet, you just know it's not having a big turnout. I mean, at 8 p.m., the day before, like forget it. Forget it.
No,
like, not
and
happening.
you can't. You got to put that. You either got to go around and put it under
The
everyone's
door-
door.
yeah, absolutely.
You can't let people learn about it the day of.
Yeah.
on a
Or
bulletin
just
board,
bringing
you know?
even
Dude.
free muffins on it. Like, this is not
Yeah.
a sprawling apartment. This is 30,
it's 30 units.
tenants. That's
Yeah.
it. It's a very tight-knit or individually focused
Right.
building, singular.
Really easy to handle
You
that for her,
can't
I
do
feel
an
like.
8 p.m. night before situation or a surprise, you don't know me, here's a free muffin. In Pittsburgh, people are going to look at you, they're going to be like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah, it's just not gonna.
That's
She's
not how to build
That's a Miami
community.
thing, maybe, and she's just
Maybe.
gotta adjust. We do have some fire hazards in that storage basement. We gotta figure that out. Just
Yeah.
leaving all the decorations. Are those out year round?
I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Why are the fall decorations the only thing that's not like in a
Correct.
thing?
Way.
They're just like in the hallway.
yeah,
Yeah.
You're gonna trip.
They ran out of room.
HOA's got to
They
be
ran
all
out of
around.
room.
You got to have those fall decorations where you can get them quick, right?
I know we haven't decorated in years, but we gotta.
Yeah, just
we
at
want
the
to.
yeah, it's like that's half of the battle is just like getting things
Yeah.
out where you can get to them. This was my last two little things. At that barbecue at his dad's house, he cooks his burgers on the charcoal grill.
Dude, here we go. Please.
And lets the gas grill.
Tell me about it. Yes.
Just hang out back there with the buns on it.
And hot dog. There was a few hot dogs,
There's
but
some dogs on there.
listen, you go
Just
ahead.
great. No, just
This is
just
not-
loved it, man.
you can't-
I don't even know. It probably had a sink too. Like
You cannot expect. You can't do this in a movie and expect us not to talk about it. Look, you wrote a character who I love, by the way. Paul Campbell's dad, who's Ned in When Calls the Heart.
He's great. Give justice for Ned. More roles
He's
for Ned.
unbelievable in this movie. But his whole thing is, I freaking love this grill.
Yeah.
I freaking love this grill. Don't you touch the grill or the burgers. And it's this kettle charcoal grill. And it's like, dude, Weber Kettle people are serious people. They have their Weber Kettle grill. It's charcoal. They'll never do anything else with it. You don't touch it. They're very, very, go online, go to Facebook and look up Weber Kettle Grill forums. You're in for a treat. Then they pan out, and it turns out he's got a propane built-in grill that he's also cooking
just
on.
a custom outdoor kitchen.
Just custom, like nothing like
you don't
the grill.
do the majority of your cooking on there, but it's there.
But
in
he's-
case you need it for like buns. It's
It
like
was-
light
if
work.
you're gonna have
yeah.
a dude brag about how he doesn't let anybody touch the grill, you can't pan out to a completely different setup
yeah.
and expect us not to say anything.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. And not even mention like, oh, I like the smoke on the chart.
That's
like
right.
the
Yeah.
burger's only something.
Yes.
Man.
But here's the thing. It would be like if you went over and somebody's playing Bran in the movie and he's got all this magic gear on, and then you pan back and in the overhang, there's all this Pacers stuff in the background.
Oh,
That's
not-
basically what it would
yeah,
be like.
yeah, not happening.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, really slaps you in the face there.
Come
It's
on.
just wrong.
Yeah, and
also-
they were by themselves. That grill was not being manned by anyone.
no, it's
it was just sitting there.
just on low.
You know, you brought up the Pacers. I didn't. But Tyrese, I heard what you said.
And let me tell you something, brother.
Let me tell you something.
And
brother.
Hell in a Cell.
I heard what you said, ironically enough, at the WWE event about Orlando Magic fans. We're coming for you this year, buddy.
boy.
We're taking it personally.
And he
All right.
slammed the papers on
And
the
I-
table.
And can you imagine a movie where Bran is in it? Someone's playing Bran, and he's got all his magic gear on, and we pan back, and there's Pacer stuff.
It wouldn't happen.
No,
it
what-
wouldn't happen.
That's right.
Speaking of magic, did you see in this movie
Oh my
her
God. Good for
magic
podcasting.
themed sweater?
Yeah, I'd wear that.
I don't know what you call this. It's got a giant turtleneck and it's got Orlando Magic colors
Yes.
all over it. And
You would wear that.
It was
Ignite.
magnificent. And so the last one I had was she was at this barbecue and just didn't mention needing to get a team together to anybody.
No one.
Not
no
a
one.
soul. You had a whole team there.
Dude, It's unbelievable. She's been trying to get everybody
Yeah.
together to talk to him, and then they're all together, and she's like,
Though it wasn't no work afternoon, I guess.
"Yeah,
Maybe that's the.
But like, it's
come on,
like
sneak
I
it
don't
in there.
want people to walk for Alzheimer's unless they're the curmudgeons in my building."
That's right. Yeah, you guys would be too down for it. Too down to
You
clown.
guys feel like you are. I feel like you already give to charity. I don't want to be part of you. We get some noobs in here.
Yeah.
I have a few. I did get a kick out of. She does move into her new place, and she already has a picture framed of the old, like the picture they
old
took
people?
at the going away party. So sometime in between the going away party, preparing for the move, and moving in, she printed the picture,
Got the selfie,
framed it,
printed the picture, framed
and
it.
bada bing, bada boom,
a
we're
good
good to
one.
go. That's not only impressive, but it's also just commitment to like that group. And so I if I'm in that
wish.
group, I'm like, man, I wish I had friends
Yeah.
that good.
Go ahead and put away that
They-
frame picture I got. It's no big deal.
He walks
Don't worry
in,
about it.
doesn't know about
Not hurt at
the.
all.
You know I love that.
Mm.
You know I love that.
It looks great up too. On the
She
wall.
hands Mark a crock pot that is at least 50 years old. That plug, if you plug that cord
Oh,
in,
man.
it's a fire.
Sparks.
There's no way that is a working, functioning crock pot. And if it is, it's not for much longer. That was on the fritz. They are trying to show everybody that they're listening and paying attention and trying to help make this the best building possible to live in. And they do that by putting an air purifier right smack in the middle of the lobby.
That's right.
In the middle of
That's
it.
right.
So
Yeah.
that's... I mean, it does show that one person you care. Everybody else is going to be tripping on that air purifier. They're going to be so mad. Why is this in the middle of the lobby? I don't know. Last but not least, I said a lot of good things about this lobby. I'm sorry, about this diner. And I'm sure it
I'm
was
sorry
said.
about this dance. I'm sorry about
I'm
these cookies.
I'm sure that it was said as a joke. But if you're a diner and you have a 3 pie slice limit, go find another diner.
That's right.
Go
Kick
find a
rocks.
There's no you can't
Yeah.
you can't put a limit on pie slices.
Who do you think you are?
especially
I am.
single digits. You
Yeah.
can't do that for sure. And I know it was a joke. It was a funny ha ha.
I don't think so.
You're under the pie influence, whatever it was.
Influence.
If the 3 pie slice limit was real, it doesn't matter how beautiful it is inside. You gotta find another diner. You gotta.
The 3 pies.
You gotta.
The 3
Dan?
slice limit was kind of like what broke me in this movie. I couldn't. And she's my favorite character in this movie. The
she was a
diner lady
blast,
is
yeah.
the best character in the movie.
That leaf dress that she wore
Yeah.
to the walk.
Yeah,
To the walk,
come
yeah.
on.
Forget about that.
We should turn this into a leaf sweater
should.
for us.
The very least we could do.
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning of this movie, when Ashley meets Paul, Paul says, I got to go around and figure out how to turn off these sprinklers that have been running. Why are there sprinklers running in Pittsburgh in the fall?
Yeah.
Oh, you just never
You got to
know.
drain the
What do
lines.
you mean I
probably.
never know?
You
What do
never
mean I
know.
never
You
know
gotta
about
get it
what?
out of there.
Forgot to turn off the timers.
You got to get it out of there.
You gotta get it out of there. Like
Get
the
what
water.
out of there?
The water.
Yeah.
Out of the hose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
You gotta
So it
get
doesn't
it so it
freeze
doesn't
in the
freeze.
pipes.
Yeah, that feel like that was all I
Turn the
needed.
water
Yes,
off. Turn
that's
the
it.
sprinklers on. Then the water gets out of there.
Yeah, I think that settles it. Yeah, I stand corrected,
Yeah.
guys. You
Any
got to get
other
it out
dumb
of there.
ones, Dan? Anything
sorry.
else?
If
come
you
on.
think the 3 slice thing was bad, the first woman that Ashley Williams meets tells her that she can't cook with garlic.
Oh yeah, she did.
No. I don't know what like. That's absurd. First of all, I don't know how you would cook without garlic. It's very important.
Very essential.
You if you're not cooking with garlic, you probably don't have enough flavor in anything you're cooking. And then you can't do that because my dog, not because I have an allergy, my dog smells it and gets wound up about it. Lady, I don't know what to tell you. You're not in charge of what someone cooks in their kitchen. That's insane. And then Ashley's just like, yeah, okay, I guess those are the rules. No garlic. Cool, got it. Move along. She never understood the forest for the trees analogy.
Brad, you wanna?
So I gotta be honest. That struck me as an I don't know, like an improvised walking into the scene situation that they decide to use later, because it was.
It's one of the worst
so
things we've
wild.
seen all year.
It was so wild.
It's one of the worst things we've seen all year. It was
forest through the trees.
It was really bad. And we're just supposed to believe that she just never knew it.
Don't think
But
about
also,
the words.
now I'm interested in how he explained it. How
Yeah.
do you explain it?
Well, you know how forests are made of many trees?
Many a tree.
Sometimes if you're looking at one tree, you can't see them all.
And
Yeah.
all together are what?
What did
forest.
she? What did she think it?
It
meant?
just is. It just. I couldn't believe what I was watching. That was like prime 2014.
Didn't it feel like a
Hallmark.
walk-in though? Like they were
It
like,
did.
and
It
then
was
they were
like,
hey,
well, we
let's
got
try
let's
to.
do something here, and they
Went
they
with
did
that.
it. They did it. I do. It was tough for me to believe that Ned from When Calls the Heart was the superintendent of the building or whatever that got fired. And then they decided a few years later that to hire his son.
Yeah.
I thought that was ridiculous. It was like if you got fired for inappropriate behavior as a super or irresponsibility, they're not going to be like, well, let's hire his son who was there the whole time and was the one that actually was at fault. Let's because he took the blame. That was, while it gave a good motivation to the character, it didn't make sense from this building who is clearly a building that is very persnickety and uppity. This building is closer to like the only murders in the building apartment building than it is like, a normal apartment. But I couldn't believe they hired him. That was kind of a surprise for me. That's all I got.
It's time for what the Hallmark. It's what we wonder what could have been. Maybe have get some clarity. Any questions that we still have, Brian? What are you still wondering about, buddy?
Yeah, and it sort of kind of goes off of what you were saying there. Like, what did Mark have on these neighbors? He's probably got a lot, but he turned them so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. And yeah, how did he get rehired? Like, what is Mark doing? Is he bribing, blackmailing? Like, what are his strategies? Because he's making things happen very quickly where there should be a little resistance, and we're not seeing any of it. So, what exactly is he using here to do this? I don't know.
I had a question about the just the layout of this apartment complex in general, because we do know there's 30 different apartments. We do know that it is 5 stories tall, and so the quick math there is six per floor, which
Six, yeah.
I don't know if that seems not
I mean, if
like
they're
not
like
a lot.
1,500
Is
square
is
feet.
this a straight up boy? Is it a long boy?
I think it's a
The-
pretty.
When we see the basement,
3 in
though,
the
it
front,
makes
3
it
in the
feels.
back
Yeah, I don't
per
know.
floor?
I don't know. I couldn't. When they said it, I was like, I don't know if that feels like too few of tenants for 5
When I
floors
heard
or
there
not
were only
enough.
30 different tenants, I thought that was really low.
Yeah.
But if you see the building, it's not a massive
I
building.
know. I know. I'm just trying. Like
you're right.
I wish I could see
Yeah.
the blueprint.
Yeah, some blueprints. Yeah,
The blueprints,
Some-
because I
some
thought about it. I
schematics,
thought
yeah.
about it more than I should have, and that's on me.
That's a great question.
Dana,
My big question is Paul Campbell gets this job even after his dad was fired. It's clearly that the most important thing to Paul's dad in his life, aside from his son, was being super of this building. Is he not allowed to let his dad come help? Or does he not like
Lifetime ban?
why hasn't he called? Like Ned is still worried like about the things. Like the poor guy's just sitting at home worried about his one grill while the other one's about to explode.
true.
You can't call your dad and be like make something up to hang out with your dad and let him do the thing that he loves to do. I want to know if there was something in place where he couldn't be on the premises or not. That would make all that make sense. Because it seemed like Paul would just call him and be like, I can't get to floor 4. There's a leaky pipe. Can you go handle it? And he would have free
that
help.
would be all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
But
that
he
was
does.
mine.
He still has access to
I
the
wanted
super
more-
calendar. And there's nothing we
I
can do
wanted
about
more
it.
Ned. I wanted more Ned.
He was so good.
He and the pie lady were the 2 best parts of this movie. They were phenomenal.
Stars.
Yes.
Stars. It's time for Double Decker of the Week. So we do a deep dive into the life of one of the Double Deckers who has signed up for Brainwatch M Plus, the Double Decker tier or higher. They're a part of our Double Decker community.
Our community.
We care about the people in our community so much so that you really look into them. You do the Google Plus, you dive into their lives, and you expose things about them that they might not want out there. And that's what we're doing right here, right now. Dan, who do we have today?
We have Christy Hahn.
Yeah, we sure do.
Christy Hahn.
And
is who
Christy
we have.
does want this out there.
Okay,
this
good.
Okay,
is,
good.
This is important. She feels like a something, a cause she's taking on that is really
Doing a
close
little
to her
PSA
heart.
here, huh?
Absolutely, PSA.
Yeah.
She cantaloupes have a tough go at it.
I didn't.
I've not
I
heard
didn't
that.
know
Not
that.
one
Well,
time.
they're not quite like the star of summer. They're definitely nothing in the fall.
What is the star of summer?
Watermelon.
Watermelon's gotta be.
Yeah, but also
You know,
them not being the star and them having a tough go of it. seems to be a little bit of a,
Well,
a
they
slippery
hope
slope.
for like
Yeah.
a little, like there's an opportunity come then that window between where Dan doesn't believe it's fall, but it is.
It is
and
fall,
where
yeah,
it turns
of course,
fall.
yeah.
And
And the watermelon's not quite
right.
It's no good.
It's crushed it. Oh, it's exhausted.
yeah,
People are
watermelon's-
watermeloned out.
Yeah,
So
done all the
It's been
heavy
carrying
lifting.
summer on its back.
yeah, and so Cantaloupe's kind of like, hey, what about me here? So Christy, she's kind of taken upon herself here to give Cantaloupe a little bit of a platform.
How so?
And before Pumpkins really take center stage,
Yeah.
there is a little bit of a window for something to jump
I think
in.
we're in it right now.
All
It
right.
And so
feels like.
Cantaloupe, she's come up with an idea for a little business called Candlelope. And
Okay.
what we're doing here is we are taking all these cantaloupes, great cantaloupes, and
The best.
hollow
Many
them
are
out.
saying they're the best cantaloupes.
Many are saying
Many
that.
are saying that,
Some are
yes.
saying they're not. Most are saying they are. More
Yeah.
than 100% are saying they are.
yes.
Yeah. 81,
so-
9.
Christy says, let's take those cantaloupes, let's make them a star. Hollow those bad boys out, throw a candle in them, put them right on your porch. Beat the jack-o'-lanterns to the punch.
So it's like a jack-o'-lantern, but it's a cantaloupe.
Yeah.
What are the
Candle.
innards? What are the innards of
Cantaloupe.
a cantaloupe like?
Guts and seeds.
Oh, so it's
and
just very
Very
similar.
similar. Well, yeah,
to
there's more
pumpkin.
to
a
eat.
little more fruit in there. That
Okay.
You probably, I mean, you could throw it, but you'd probably not want to let it go to waste. Little fruit in there. You don't want to just like a
Little fruit
jack,
in there.
like a pumpkin. You're chucking that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of
Like,
guts in
A
there.
lot of people maybe keep the
cantaloupe,
seeds or whatever.
That's
Seeds
what
are
makes a
great to
cantaloupe
toast, yeah.
a little bit better, maybe, that you can enjoy the inside.
Is this a business?
So is
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, what's it called?
It's cantaloupe.
Oh, cantaloupe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they? Is it just like for like late August, early September? You're supposed to put these on your porch and light the candles.
Yeah. You light the candles, and the thought is that'll carry through the fall, and maybe if they get like 1% of the pumpkin market for the fall,
They're aiming for
Then-
1%.
That's not bad,
think,
though.
You think there's some people that are not? They're going to eschew the
Stick with
pumpkin,
the-
and stick with the cantaloupe.
that's right. TM. Yeah, I think.
Well, but
once you
also
get it on your
even if
porch,
just 1% of the people that love decorating for pumpkins also do cantaloupe.
you could that could
Like
like
be
they
a way
do
to
like,
do
hey,
it.
I don't
Yeah.
want to wait, but the pumpkins aren't quite
do
here
both.
yet. I'm going to elope it. I'm going
Yeah,
to
elope it.
elope.
Yeah.
I'm going to elope.
I'm going to
You
elope.
can elope.
Maybe I should have.
Cantaloupe.
Elope.
Yeah.
Wow, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christy out there doing it, man.
Best of luck. Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe. Hey, everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
Welcome to Don's house, your home for cantalopes. It's a cantaloupe.
There's a lot there, and I
I don't really know what it was, actually.
Don
Premiere. I
You
think
got the information what that
Don's
was?
house.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Don's house.
for cantalopes.
Yes.
Got
What was it?
the
Dan?
best
You got
display
the
of
information
candles?
The song
ahead of
here
you?
is supposed to be a part of their big push to take 1% of the pumpkin market.
Okay. But
that's-
is it if that was a song?
That was
not a show.
That
or
was,
a-
I think it was
Okay.
the song.
Yeah, you
Why
can
do you
buy those
talk
with
in
your
it?
candle.
I don't know.
You get a song with your
It's a
candle.
recording that Dawn
it's
made.
18 minutes long.
It's 18 minutes long. We can pick back up in the middle.
It's a cantaloupe. Hey, I'm back.
Yeah.
Y'all out there with your pumpkins and your watermelons. Give me 1%. Bam.
Yeah.
It's a cantaloupe. I still don't quite know what it
either.
is.
It's working, I think, though.
Yeah.
It's working for me.
Give
How
me
does-
1%.
I might go cantaloupe. this
18
year.
minutes. Maybe
Does she know
bought,
him though?
Maybe she bought like an. So you saying his name is Dawn or his name Dawn, and he's different than her?
I think he's his. That's not.
That's Dawn
That's
his
not
own
Dawn.
person.
No, I think it is.
Christy's
that's not
friend
Christy.
Dawn. No, I
So
believe
Don's
that's,
in it with Christy.
It sounds like
Yeah.
Dawn.
Got it.
I
Maybe
feel
we
like Dawn's
find-
not only a
It's
customer,
18
he's
minutes.
also.
It's 18 minutes long. Do you think
Let's-
they bought an infomercial?
Let's find out.
It's a cantaloupe. You might be wondering, who am I? How am I involved in Christy's business? Well, I'll tell you this much: none of your business. It's a cantaloupe. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. Until then, the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.